Hello once again and welcome to SaharaTV. In line with everything that we do here, we're covering stories from other parts of Africa. And this day we're looking at a few stories from Ghana. One of the stories we're looking at is a rather intriguing story in which an individual, Francis Ajury, was held in in prison remand for 14 years. He has, after that, sued the government and has been offered 200,000 Ghana cedis, which is roughly about 78,000 US dollars. In another story, a pit collapsed at an illegal mining site, burying 5 people, including a one-year-old child. Now, the question everybody's asking is, what was a one-year-old child doing in a mining pit? Joining us from Ghana to bring some details into this discussion are, first of all, Stephen Enti. Stephen Enti is a senior journalist at Joy FM, which is part of the Multimedia group. And then on the other side, we will speak with Justice Bediako, who is also a journalist with Radio XYZ. First of all, let's speak with Francis Enti, who will help us to understand the story behind the man who was held in jail for 14 years without trial. Welcome to SaharaTV, Stephen.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Okay, and thank you for responding at such short notice. We really appreciate your time. First of all, can you give us a brief, gist of the whole story? How did it happen that someone was held in prison custody for 14 solid years without trial?
Right. Let me quickly say that I'm news editor for Joy News Television on Multimedia, which, although it's not a radio station, it's a television station. So quickly, the Francis Ajury was, I think, in 1994, arrested on suspicion of armed robbery. The story he narrates was that one of the suspects pointed to him as his accomplice, and the police never investigated the allegation and picked up Francis and held Francis in jail. Now, typically when the police arrest you on suspicion of a crime and they have to put you on remand, they have to go to court and apply for permission to keep you until investigations are over. So Francis's remand that was granted by the court expired in a week. So in 1 week, the police were supposed to get him and then go back to court and renew his remand. That was not done. And Francis stayed in jail, in prison remand for 14 years, 6 months. So he was released unconditionally in 2008. And through the services of a lawyer, Francis Xavier Sosu, they decided to take on the Attorney General and the Ghana Police Service, which they duly won this week, and were awarded 200,000 Ghana cedis. So it's a precedent for our judicial system for an individual to take on the whole police service and the Attorney General's department and win. And this was clear because the law specifies that if you are held, you should be held 48 hours and you have to be processed for court. So for him to have been held for 14 years is an indictment on the justice system, including the police prosecuting services which were responsible for ensuring that the guy gets fair hearing. So my personal opinion is that the guy wasted 14 years of his life in a jail for a crime he did not commit. And then he did not commit at all. So that's it. That's the situation.
Okay. Now, according to the story, the person who pointed to him as an accomplice came out 10 years later to confess that he was actually not the one, but he was, coerced, if you will, by the police to say that. How come he still stayed in jail for another 4 years after the confession? Do you know?
Well, I wouldn't be able to know. What I know is that the person who pointed to him as his accomplice is 7 a life sentence already. So he is 7 life because I think there was death involved in that crime because somebody shot somebody and somebody died during the armed robbery attack. So he's 7 life. And so for whatever reason, if the justice system was unable to investigate to find out that Francis Okyere was innocent, that's an indictment on us as a country. I feel that in a democratic system like ours, the justice system should work so that innocent people should not be jailed for offenses they do not commit. Of course, I do agree that in more developed democracies and justice systems, these things happen, but they're not the norm or the regular thing. In Ghana today, there are hundreds, I could say thousands of people languishing in jail for a similar situation like Francis. And the ability to pay for going to court could be a deterrent. It was the reason why Francis, since 2008, was not able to go to court and managed eventually to get a lawyer who could take his case on pro bono basis for him to eventually go to court.
So
that's the sad reality.
Yeah, you've actually already hinted on my next question, which is people say this is actually not an isolated case, and you've already said it as well. There are hundreds and hundreds of people languishing in jail. And I've heard arguments from the judiciary that there's not enough, whatever it is that they need to see that these cases are heard on a regular basis and people are discharged as and when they will. Is that true? Is it really true that there are hundreds of people languishing in jail without having gone through any kind of judicial process at all?
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm privileged to have understanding of the legal system. I mean, many stories that we have covered from prisons across the country point to the simple fact that there are many people who are on remand, who are supposed to be getting a hearing from the court, and then they are awaiting the hearing. But these people are mixed up with hardened criminals who have been convicted of murders and armed robberies, and they're all in the same place. So the thing is that this is a big deal for the entire prison and judicial justice system in general, because you do know that in Ghana, when somebody steals a goat, the person can end up 5 years in jail. At the same time, somebody commits a serious crime as possessing drugs, for example, can also go for the same amount of years. So what we have been unable to do as a justice system in our country is to encourage non-custodial sentences, which I know that the judicial service and the prison authorities have made suggestions over the years to enforce non-custodial sentences. So people get the chance to serve various forms of sentences that are not confined, are not custodial, where you go into prison to serve the jail term. So until we are able to do that, the situation is dire, and the situation will remain the same for a very long time, because you break a traffic offense, and if you're not lucky, you could go in for 3 years. That's not good. So I'm not a lawyer. I don't work with the judicial service or attorney general, but I believe that there have been calls from prison authorities and the members of the judiciary to be more proactive in enforcing a kind of non-custodial sentence structure for our country. If that goes well, then I believe that a lot of people who would have ordinarily been in jail for small crimes would get the chance to serve fines or
non-custodial terms. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much, Stephen. And once again, thank you for responding at such short notice. Thank you very much.
No mention.
Okay, now we go on to Justice Bediako, Isaac Justice Bediako, a journalist with XYZ Radio, who's going to update us on the situation with the 5 people buried in an illegal mining pit, including a year-old child. So, Justice, welcome once again. Can you quickly tell us what happened at the site, quickly?
Yeah, Kwesi, I speak to you that, Ghana is full of gold. Especially in the Ashanti region, where gold is common in every district or every community that you enter. The Amansia area, that is the Boise area. I'm sure you know that particular area. That is where most people do find gold. And so couples who are into, illegal mining went into a pit in the search of gold. And so when the man left, he went together with his wife and their 1-year-old child, where they all entered into the pit. Unfortunate for them, the pit capsized, and after that, they were all buried alive together with additional 2 people in the same pit. But this is not the first time, such things are happening in the country. I remember I reported a story at Subios of Ante, where 17 people died instantly after entering into a gold pit. And so it has been a thing for about 3 years now, and I can speak on authority that in Ghana only last year, we recorded more than 100 people dying in pits as a result of searching for gold. So this informed the Ghana government to, form a security task force made up of police, military, and immigration service. By then we have Chinese nationals and other people from countries like Spain, Senegal, were all in Ghana to do, illegal gold business. And as a result of that, as I speak to you, in Ashanti region, the immigration service were able to, send more than 100 Chinese nationals into their country, while some of them, as I speak to you, are still even in Ghana's jail for not, having true documents to, engage themselves
in that kind of business. But let me ask you, though, the question everybody is asking is, what was a 1-year-old child doing in the pit? You said the parents took him or her into the pit. Is this something you see all the time? Are there children engaged in the illegal mining at all?
Yeah, because once the mother and the father, I'm sure if they are alive, would have asked these questions. But based on the police report, then it means that the man and the woman are all people who are experts in, illegal mining activities. And so anytime they go into the pit, they try to go with their child so that the woman will not come out and come and breastfeed the child or feed the child. So when they are working in the pit, they take the child there and they all work together.
Okay.
And so that led to the death of.
All right. Now, just a few days ago, we also read about some citizens in the Amancia West, not too far from where this unfortunate incident happened. Citizens of the community affected a citizen's arrest, where they actually arrested 5 Chinese and about 18 Ghanaian illegal miners. Can you tell us about that? Yeah,
Kwesi, this is common in Ghana. And it's, the security persons and the citizens in the area are trying to help the police. But as I speak to you now, the activities of the Chinese, in Ghana, you can, as a Ghanaian, you can engage in small-scale mining, which you are restricted according to the law. But when these Chinese nationals came, they came with heavy equipment, and it wasn't like a small-scale mining. They were doing big-time mining. And so when you go to these communities where these activities are common now, drinking water is a problem to the people. All the river bodies there have been polluted with chemicals that they use to wash the gold. And so now, even crops production there, most of their farmers there, their crops are dying because the land has been polluted. The river bodies has also been polluted. It has also affected education in the areas because look, you can when you go there, you see 7 years, 8 years children all inside the pit trying to look for gold. And so it is causing a whole lot of damage in these communities. But thanks to the Ghana government, now they've been able to bring the situation under a bit control. But so the Chinese nationals are in, and they're doing the business. But the big worry is, we Ghanaians, we go and bring these Chinese. They don't have permits to stay here. They don't have documents to stay here. Ghanaian will go for a concession that he is coming to, do the mining. But by the time you realize it's for a Chinese man, but then the Ghanaian has registered the company in his name, so he has every right to engage in the activities. And it is causing a whole lot of damage to people, especially in those mining communities. But I thank God that there are something, 246, who is one of the respected kings in Africa, and as I'm saying, in Ghana too. So now he has also ordered all the chiefs. You know, in Ghana, chiefs are the rights owners of land, even though government has powers over land, but chiefs, the land belongs to chiefs. So now he has warned all his top chiefs not to give any land to any Chinese national or any Ghanaian to do illegal mining activities unless the person has been permitted from the Minerals Commission of Ghana.
To do
so. Now they're trying their best to bring the situation under control.
Okay, Justice. Thank you so very much. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for the update. We'll speak to you again when we get more details, and we want to reach out to you and get some more details on the situation. Thank you so much.
Thank you too. It's my pleasure. Bye.
So there it is, viewers. A lot of things going on in Ghana. Let me take this opportunity to send my condolences to my good friend Fennec, the family of Fennec Okyere, who was shot dead in his apartment by unknown assailants. Fennec Okyere was one of the big entertainment names in Ghana and also very much known in Nigeria. Our condolences go to the family. Stay tuned, there's more coming on Sahara TV.